Let me try that again. Happy Hump Day. Thank you, Zindremic. Always good to be unmuted. How is everybody doing today? Hope you're all doing well. We've made it halfway to the weekend. Or close enough to halfway anyway. For those of you who choose to celebrate weekends. Alive for now, says Zindremic. Saffron, welcome in. Paul, welcome in. Tuning in from sunny Maryland. It is sunny here in Portland as well. Zindremic, hope you're well, homie. Good morning, Liv. How are you? How are you? For those that are following along at home, this is a one ensemble sound today. Tom made me late, so I mailed it in. I loaded up a little rig, and this is what we've got. OhmLab, welcome in, homie. Happy Wednesday to you. What about me? I'm all right. We're halfway to the weekend. I was feeling a little bit more behind last night, but then I got busy. I wasn't happy with the risers that I had made, and I was sitting there kind of ho-humming about it and decided maybe I should just redo them. Kind of half joking to myself, and then I redid them. So now I have 100 new risers that I need to mix down and bounce. So I'm trying to make a decision here. Sci-fi sounds, risers. Which one? Which one do we do? I feel like I'm in a bit more of a playful mood. Like I kind of want to do some original sound. So I'm leaning towards some sci-fi, at least right now, anyway. I don't know. We'll see. See what we get up to. What are you guys working on this week? What is everybody working on out there? OhmLab says, something happened. Long and personal story. I'm back, though. OhmLab, whatever it was that occurred, I hope you're well. Hope you're okay. It's good to see you back. Yeah, let's play in Faceplant for a while. Let's just do that. Let's turn this off. And we'll turn off these things. And this thing. And then let's go over here. I was just starting to set some stuff up here. I could remake this for you guys so you can see the entire thing. In fact, maybe I will. Let's turn off this. OhmLab, of course I remember your sounds. OhmLab, you are more than welcome to drop some stuff. We can check them out, see what kind of progress you've been making. Paul says he's set up for jamming and has a pal coming over tomorrow to make tracks. Ooh, nice. Tracking some freshies. Liv, how are things progressing over there? We should catch up soon, don't you think? Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. It's been a minute. That's probably my fault. Saffron, I get to see you tomorrow, right? As long as there's no major outages or anything again, right? Nice. OhmLab, this is great. This is how it is done. People ask all the time, how's it done? This is how it's done. OhmLab says, this is like a literal job now, getting commissions left and right. It's a huge accomplishment for me. It has been a minute, right? You've been heads down and getting stuff done, though. Like, you've been accomplishing a lot, Liv. All right, yeah, let's do this. Shoot me a DM so I don't forget to follow up with you after stream. We'll line it up. Saf is thinking about moving his website to NeoCities with all his music. Yeah, I know no other way either. That's why I have to take breaks with you guys. This is how I come up for air. Wilco. Excellent, thank you. All right, so what did I do to make this? Should we just set this up again? It's really simple. Maybe I'll just walk through the steps really quick. Quite simple. I loaded up 3 wavetable instances, right? I loaded up a saw to triangle here, or saw to square to triangle. Loaded up a wavetable called Neuron, which can be found in growls, and Harmonic Wanderer, which can be found in spectral. You guys want to follow along. But I will tell you right now that it really doesn't even matter what you put in there. Something squarish, cool. Something kind of digital, cool. Put in what you want to put in. You'll get your own sounds out. And then I loaded up an LFO. LFO is running a major 7th. And I've assigned it to the master pitch. It's super simple. So now this is operating at a rate of 36K, this LFO, and it is just messing with the pitch, and it's all happening in tandem. Okay, so it sounds like this. Let's turn on our track. And at a lower octave. So then I put in a gain control to turn it down, because we don't need it to be super loud. So now I'm going to turn the volume to where it should be. All right, and then I put a comb filter in there. And I moved up in octave. And so what we're going to be making is scanning signal and telemetry stuff with these. And then hopefully we're going to get some really, really weird glitchy stuff, which we can record and chop and bring back in and see what it ends up sounding like. It's going to sound, hopefully, pretty darn awesome by that point. All right, so after the comb filter, I put in a little resonator. And then a frequency shifter. So anyway, the combination of comb filter, resonator, frequency shifter should help us kind of get these sounds that feel like they're actually doing something. See, we can kind of hear a little bit of natural beating starting to occur and stuff, so maybe we can add a little unison. Maybe not. I think we'll probably start somewhere around here. I was just about to start playing with a little Fracture XT in here. So this will probably require uh, maybe 5 minutes of recording at a time. Something like that. Because I want to twist knobs and get some really weird little outcomes. And there's going to be these moments where we're kind of morphing from one to the next. And we might want to chop those and bring those back into faceplant, see what we end up with there. So we're going to do a couple of things here. First, we're going to save the project. And we'll put this in here. We'll go to UI, 2D, and let's call this one scanners and scanners and system. I think we'll probably end up getting both out of this. Let's give this thing a tag. Next thing we need to do is set up a capture track. So let's just do that. I'm going to set the output of faceplant here to a bus. And then I'll use that as the input for our capture track. Arm it as a stereo track. Bing, bada boom. All right, so that's all done. We'll save. Only Hollywood gives sound to telemetry. It's so true. It's so true. Ooh, that's pretty good. That one's pretty good. All right. I think we're going to start recording here. And OhmLab, you can feel free to holler when you drop some stuff. Might take me a couple minutes to get over there if we're mid-recording, but we'll listen. Away we go. This one's gold. Kind of sitting here thinking of the different processes that I want to run on these. This one's great. Oh, this one's so quiet. That's great. Oh, this is. We'll make this into a wavetable. This is fantastic. This one's just going. This is great. Ooh. Hey, that one was great. Let's go ahead and stop this recording and we'll start a second one. We'll reconfigure a couple of things for the sake of keeping things legit. Legit want to hunt a big cat with my bare hands. Super no. Sucks. Ben. Zendremic is asking a fantastic question. If you were to start as a sound designer from scratch now in 2024, what would be your approach considering all the new tools plus AI? I would in 2024. I'm going to give you two paths here. One is sound design on the music side of things, and one is sound design on the screen side of things. And I personally find that the point at which these things cross over is kind of where it's really fun. So I personally would lean toward tools that would allow me to straddle both worlds. Okay, and I would grab um, probably native instrument stuff, simply because of the larger ecosystem and community that's built up around it over the decades. So I would do that. And then right, I get some version of Complete to get me the flagship tools so I can use those synths and samplers to generate a whole bunch of really great content. And I would probably start with highly in demand short form sounds that I would um, produce in high number and then release in a number of ways. I would put some of it into royalty free marketplaces to start generating passive income in the background. I would then start releasing some of it in the form of packs. Um, and some of that would be through a brand that I myself would create. So that money would be coming directly to me through my website, and then I could then start distributing said branded products through other marketplaces. And then once that is established, I would um, reach out to other existing marketplaces rather than other producers or artists and offer buyout services. And what that means is that instead of making something myself for myself and then selling through other people or through my own means to get money, that I would instead sell it outright to that label or that marketplace or whatever. Um, and then they can sell it freely. And I walk away from that exchange, right? And because of that, I get a much higher price tag on that, right? I'm not worried about splits or anything. I have cash in pocket now. And now that gives me something. That gives me something that I can now reinvest, right? It's not always just about feeding and putting shelter over one's head, right? It also has to be about like taking the next steps too. So that's why every once in a while I would sell something outright. Now, that's how I would get started. That's how I would get started. It would be one purchase that would get me into a whole slew of tools that I could explore for many years, and I could continue to put new sounds into, and I can continue to generate new sounds out of. So that's the first thing I would do. And I would buy that during their 50% off sale. And then not buy other new stuff for a while, I think is probably what I would do in 2024. Now, in regards to AI and stuff, I would dedicate part of my existence to comprehending the tools that seemed inspiring or interesting to me, and not begin just using those tools, but embedding myself in the community of users around those tools, because that's kind of a significant difference, right? Being someone that can do something with tools is fine and dandy. I know a lot of people that know how to use a hammer. But there's a few people that we all know of that use a hammer, and we all know that. So there are people that have the ability to translate a skill into uh, like a trade skill and use that as like an engagement skill, right? To involve other people. And I think it's important because it generates opportunities and it allows one to see things from different perspectives. Um, and the social growth and health thing is real. So that's where I would start. I would start very simply and I would stay really, really focused. I would stay focused on probably the short form sounds first. And the reason being is because you can use short form sounds again later for different things. And I'm a very big fan of repurposing things as many times as I possibly can for profit. So, and for ease, because you don't want to continue beating your head against the same wall for the same purpose every day. So, um, that's probably where I would start. And that approach requires nobody else. That is something that requires only you and the machine in front of you, and it doesn't even require internet, right? Like you need to be able to download your products, whatever. You can maybe take your computer to the library that day. You know what I mean? If you don't even have steady Wi-Fi, you could do all of this on your own without involving other people and start making money. So, if If you want to get more out of I would say my approach personally would be I would use AI uh, not in the sound creation process initially. I think it's really, really important to understand how to know, like how to do the things. Respect the gazelle. Thank you so much, dishwasher. Appreciate you. Okay, so here's the thing is that you have to know the craft through and through. And if you try to take shortcuts or you don't want to do all that stuff, then you're never really going to actually understand why things are happening the way they are. So you got to know the stuff. So I wouldn't use AI to make the things. What I would do is ask it to help me with everything else. Okay, so I've made a brand, right? That's the first thing is I've made a brand, right? So I'm going to make sound packs. I have products. I'm going to sell them. I have to call myself something. So now I'm going to ask AI to help me with the artwork for that, right? Maybe even help with coming up with the name if I can't think of something good. And then I'm going to have it craft copy for me, right? I need an about page. I need to write descriptions for my products. Maybe I'm not very good at that because I've never done this before, right? It's going to take years to become really good at all of that stuff. I'm going to ask it to generate keywords for my products, right? If I put it up into a marketplace, I need to know what are the most searched terms for this type of sound or this type of music, right? And then you can write intelligent descriptions and you can use very intelligent keywords that you know people will use to find things because you're operating online and it doesn't matter what your stuff sounds like. It really doesn't, you guys. It really doesn't. It's the sad truth. You could have stuff that sounds awful. And if you make your stuff really super easy for people to find that need it and need it in that moment, they're going to buy your stuff because they're finding your stuff and you made it easy to find the stuff. That's all it takes. So anyway, I would use AI for those purposes at first, right? And then once I have a repository of sounds built up, a slight amount, and I've built a workflow for getting products out, getting complete finished things out and out into the world, then I would start using AI to flip sounds in interesting ways or start using it to help spark ideas about what direction things might be going in. Um, I wouldn't be reliant upon it for the creation of the initial sounds. That's what I wouldn't be reliant upon it initially. Once you know your craft, go hog wild with whatever kind of tools you're inspired to work with, to whatever degree you're willing or wanting to work with them. Like seriously, because you've got to be you, and you've got to find something really unique along the path, because that's what being you is, and you only do that through discovery eventually. So that's what I do. By Chris's Playford. Saffron says, the problem you're going to face while uploading to places like Pond5 or Audio Jungle, the fact you're possibly going to get rejected from the sounds you try to upload, and you have to put your head first into places with royalty spaces. Don't be hurt if that happens, because I surely got hurt from it. Paul says, I just read how Tobe Hooper paid John Larroquette in marijuana for his part in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Ever work those back end deals? Oh, Tom was just asking me this morning if I was getting paid for one of the projects I'm working on, and I said yes. And we talked about like I have done the free thing in the past, or like barter or trade or whatever. Um, People will be willing to deal on pretty much anything unless they're hungry. The buy 10% of me world is a is a time suck. The cash flow problem is tricky. Equity is tricky. When am I buying a prompt? Mm. Saf says, no matter if you are willing to uh, resilienate through loads of rejection, be resilient through loads of rejection, then be my guest and do it. And upload videos on how you made a sound if willing to get some people willing to work with you. Yeah, the thing is to not not get sucked into the ancillary stuff, like talking with other producers. Like there's this thing that I don't really understand that producers do. And well, I mean, I do because it's social, but then beyond that, I really don't understand it. And that is trying to market yourself to other producers. That thing doesn't really make any sense to me. Like as a label, and I produce stuff, production content that's targeting producers. Yes, I have conversations with producers and I target producers. But in regards to like if I'm just making music or sounds for like my stuff or whatever, like I have no idea why I want to shop that stuff around other producers and like have conversations around it and all that stuff. I really don't. I really don't. And I think that a lot of people get sucked up into that, and it's really kind of soul crushing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have seen this too, right? Someone makes a song and they realize I'm really good at making these sounds. I make these sounds, and then I'm like, these are great sounds for what I do, and I try to sell them to other producers. And I really want this to happen. So then I spend more and more time trying to do this, and then it becomes like kind of the focus. And now I've kind of forgotten about the music. And you guys see that happen? I see that happen all the time. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about producing how-to videos or behind the scenes stuff or any of that. If your goal is to get started in sound design, then head down, eyes on your own paper, and get some stuff done. If you have an idea of what kind of stuff you want to make, that's okay. That's a great place to start. It's a good hobby. It's a good way to learn. If you want to make a business out of it, then you need to know what people are actually looking for and actually need. And then beyond that, it's not just about making those sounds, it's about understanding how those sounds are actually used, right? And then what is the process of getting those sounds into those projects and whatnot? And is there anywhere in that where you can see room for improvement? Can you make better quality sounds? Could you make them faster? Could you make them more accessible? Could you make them easier in some way to use? Right? That's your goal. That's your goal. That's your playing field, right? You identify the sounds that you want to start making and the sounds that people need in that realm of sound. Um, Understand why they need those sounds and how they're using them before you start making them, and you're probably going to have some success. Live, yeah, it is. It is so good for copy and for art. And nano stuff like phase, giving you brain bleeds, like none of that even needs to occur um, in the beginning, right? So just as eyes on your own paper is super important, also just baby steps is really important. Um, Can't type fast enough in this masterclass. That's okay, Syndromic. It's going to take me a while to get to your comments anyway. Ben says Lander still hasn't split to single track algos yet. Sorry, just trying to stay up to date. I'm not sure. Um, Ben, Nano says, or Liv says, you smell like excuses, nanowires. Paul says, take some classes. Okay, so this is there is a plethora of content available for people to learn how to do things. And when it comes to learning, everyone is a little bit different. Before enrolling in anything and paying for anything, I would spend time on YouTube and run intelligent searches about um, the basics in sound design, right? Instead of running these complex queries about psychedelic blah 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 whatever whatever whatever. Understanding the fundamental basics of sound and audio is a good thing. Um, and then allowing yourself time to play. I think it's super, super important because then you can start to discover how you might actually learn and what you're actually interested in learning. And I think it might be more important to do these things. I think most teachers, Paul, tell me if you agree, but in my experience, I like it when people have gone and explored and tried some things out, dipped their toes in the water, and found what they do and they do not have interest in, what things are difficult for them to understand. Um, it does help solve the problem of you don't know what you don't know yet, because you can walk into a room and start actually having a conversation um, that's rooted in context, which is nice. Just reading the back and forth here between Ben and Liv. Um, oh, nice. OhmLab has more new clients. My phase plant is still just kind of weird now back here. Yeah, these are all good places to begin. OhmLab has put up some new sounds for us to listen to. Let's go listen to his sounds, and then I'm gonna record for a few minutes and make more weirdness happen. Oh, Nero, welcome in. Where are we here? All right, this is OhmLab with new stuff. I hired a 2D animator who made those black and white frames. FSX by me. Excellent. Wow, you have been busy. All right, let's do this. Let's listen to this first one. And again. Yeah, the very first thing that strikes me is the control. The control that you're operating with the distortion and whatnot. It's much more controlled than the last time you brought stuff in. It's one of the best works that me and the dev team have created. The whole character is based off a stickman named KJ. We'll show it later.
もううんざりだ。KJ の20の型。動き。死ね。
Yeah. Hey, let's just take a quick look at this again, because there's a lot of really good improvements here.
もううんざりだ。
Okay, just really quick. First thing I notice is that there's so much more room for dialogue and top layer elements.
KJ の20の型。 動き。死ね。
Yeah, it'd be cool to hear a little bit more movement represented here. We can hear it a little bit like in wind up, like these little whooshes before a quick like melee action, but you do have other motion happening on the screen that you could be representing as well in really cool ways. Music not by you, but SFXR in this one. Like right here, there could be motion represented. It's slowing way down. This one I felt like maybe the impact was getting compressed. Let's try this again. This is great. This is great. I mean, that felt like like the debris could be a little bit more present, maybe. Let's see here. Let's see what this one's all about. Ooh. That was super solid. Super solid. Let's check this one. Okay, this one had a fair bit of debris falling at the end, but I didn't see anything visually to actually call for that. Oh, it's like, is that the burning away of the... Okay, so for that, like, I don't know if that sound is the right kind of sound for whatever was occurring to that guy right there. Some sort of blight or something taking him away. Let's see what's going on here. This is fantastic. The only critical feedback I'd give you on this one is that their two powers, their charged powers, have very different visual cues. I would give them more unique sounds. The bright blue color on the character on the right, or green rather, it feels like maybe this could be maybe a higher pitch or maybe slightly more harmonic in some way. Excuse me. But I would separate tonally these two timbres a little bit, so when they're operating in tandem, you can hear that they're both there. And right now, it kind of sounds like the same type of thing layered. So let's just listen very closely as we see these two together here. Yeah, I feel like we should be able to hear two distinct powers on display here, right? One could maybe have more of like a spark and sizzle, and the other one could have like a resonant force, right? Or like a field of operation. Okay, and then a sound redesign for KJ himself. Let's listen to this.
Seriously? I just bought that. You're approaching me? Fine. Come as close as you like. However, this is the last time. 然爆弾。
Yo, okay. Ardlap, a couple things on this. The two things that stood out as um, could improve are one, there were a couple of very tiny little sync things um, where the sounds could be like a little bit tighter in alignment. The only other thing that I really saw throughout, and that one was super nitpicky, the sync thing, is the lack of vocalizations, which is separate. It's distinctly different than dialogue, right? You've got dialogue covered, but what we're missing here is vocalizations, which is like effort sounds, grunts, gasps, breathing, heaving, that type of thing. There's one moment in this thing that really stands out as an opportunity to do this, and that is, where is it here? Okay, here you can see, you can tell that this is the shadow of his head. It's moving. He's feeling emotion. There's tears, sweat, anger, frustration, right? There could be some of this being shared. It doesn't have to be incredibly overt. I really like the kind of understated um, position that you put some of your sounds in, where before they were quite overt and aggressive. So, really good job of recognizing some areas where your stuff could become more supportive and open for dialogue and um, vocalizations, environmental sound, stuff like that to actually play a role. Um, your sound design itself seems to be much more um, focused and specific and um, less in your face, just for the sake of being in your face. Um, it's all really, really good improvements. And I'm so happy to hear that you're working with other people. You've got a team going here. Saffron is asking, what do you mean by eyes on your own paper? Do you mean stick with one thing at a time, or do you mean something to do with picking up one piece of content to stick with in regards to showing yourself off? I mean eyes on your own paper, as in, like, when you're in school and the teacher gives you this assignment, you need to look at the assignment and focus on doing the assignment. You're not going to worry about other assignments that could be done. You're not going to look over and see how someone else is accomplishing this assignment. You're not going to copy or try to sound like anybody else. So no comparing and no trying to catch up to. When you first step in, this question that Saffron is asking is relating to something we were talking about right before we were watching these videos, and that's about getting started as a sound designer, or working with sound instead of just music. And it's important to stay focused, right, and not get distracted, and veer off course. Is really what it is. When you're first getting started, it's really important to accomplish the things that you're setting out to accomplish, or else you start to feel as though progress is not being made. And also, progress is not being made, and it needs to be made, right? You need to be able to look back after a month of working or whatever and feel and see and know that things were actually accomplished in that time. And then it's a matter of, hey, assessing the situation. Is the stuff working for me? Is it selling? Am I doing this the right way or whatever? And that's such an easier thing to go through compared to, I need to find the motivation to actually get this stuff done. Why am I not getting this stuff done? I show up every day and I don't get the stuff done. Mm. Um, Nano, these are good things you're chiming in with as the videos are playing. Frankie Glazer says, "Do you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?" Uh, I don't know if I've ever watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, honestly. Syndromic says, bro, this is great. Sirius88, hey. How you doing? It's been a minute. Welcome in. Happy Hump Day. Sirius says, hello, OhmLab. I'd love to get your feedback on my latest track. Siri, shut up. Stop eavesdropping. You're the best feedbacker by far. Any chance you have time for it today, or should I come back another day? We can do it, and then we're gonna record. This is great. This is great. Ben says, Chris was dope. I hardly did my homework, but I put the thoughts and techniques into my music. Definitely a ton of this is right. Yeah, it's what Ben just said there about, like, as long as you're tuning in and applying the things that you're learning, it really doesn't matter about the homework. In fact, I would go on rants about homework, wouldn't I? The homework is not for me. If you fail because of homework, you are failing yourself. The homework is there to prove things. It's a proving ground. It's half sandbox, half playground, and all proving ground. That's what the homework is. But you know what else is? I was just having this conversation with someone else who's incredibly talented and I have so much respect for, and we were having a conversation about practice and production and about how you have to recognize the fact that although practice is important, when you are producing, you are in fact proving. And also, you are practicing your skills. So many. Yeah, there was a lot of homework. I assigned a lot of homework. Sirius, go ahead and send it to the public feedback. And we'll listen to it. And then we'll get back over here and we'll start making some really cool, weird sci-fi noises here. All right, this one is called Jupiter, Re-Explored from Sirius. Whoa, dude, Danny. Imagine it in the house. Dude. I have written several tunes since our conversation. Danny, I hope I didn't give you bad feedback, bro. I hope you're doing well over there and that you're feeling good about stuff. Ardlap, you are welcome for feedback. I know I mentioned all of the things that I thought like there's room for improvement on, but dude, seriously, there is so much growth happening over there. You're killing it. Regardless of whatever it was that took you offline for a bit on the personal front, you're obviously still pursuing the passion and it shows. So big ups, man. Big ups. Danny was just summoned. Oh, been a while since you sat down to write and so focused on rehearsals and such. Yeah. Summoned. All right, serious. Let's do this. Yo, serious. This is good. Dino, yeah, you can. We'll. I'm gonna jump back in here. We're gonna record for a minute, and then we'll listen to that. Serious. I really, really like the vibe you've got cooking here. The only thing that I'm gonna push back on this one is the loudness and the need for greater separation of sounds. It sounds to me like you probably at one point in time before the compression and limiting was applied in the end, had a mix with great separation. So the very first thing you could do is just turn off that limiting and the compression and see if everything feels as though it is in the right position. Because right now, when you look at this, you just had an incredibly moving piece of music play for 6.5 minutes, and you don't have peaks and valleys in your waveform over here. You just have peaks and bigger peaks. So what I would love to see is the space between the sounds um, be rediscovered, because that's where we can. That's the space that we fall into, right? This feels like something that's supposed to be pretty immersive and moving, and it's gorgeous to listen to. Um, just harder to fall into. You know what I mean? Because we don't hear enough of the nuanced response and change over time from the individual sounds. Instead, what we hear is this kind of beautiful, um, um, consistent output of sound, right? Um, so just running through what I've said here is backing off the limiting is going to help. You're using compression and limiting so the sounds could be heard easier, so they're more up on the surface, but it's also squishing them closer together, which makes it harder for you to actually hear each one of the individual sounds and appreciate them. So finding their natural position is really what we're looking for here. Um, yeah, it's my biggest feedback on this one. Syndromic says, bit spicy up top. I think that's a byproduct of the limiting personally. I think that all that is hearing too much presence from frequencies that are normally down here. And I think that once they come down here, I think that it's going to feel a little bit better. Um, Denny says, I like the space in this one. Um, Okay, yeah. So anyway, after you back off the limiting and compression, instead use a little bit of saturation. It's going to generate harmonics in each sound, so they are easier to hear. You can then mix them into their own positions. Maybe use panning just a little bit more as a separation tool as well. It doesn't just have to be EQ and volume. It can also be pan position, and those things can be automated too, right? So if you do have two similar sounds that are in somewhat similar position, move them away from each other when one is trying to take a more dominant role, right? If they're supposed to kind of be blended together and have this kind of ubiquitous relationship, like supportive relationship, then so be it. Um, that's it. That's it. That's what we got on this one. Dude, this. Oh, hyper lurk. I was going to say, what is this emote, Ben? I like this. Sirius, you are welcome so much. It's good to hear your stuff again. It's been a little while. All right, so where were we? We were making scanning sounds, right? We were making scanners, and we made these, right? Yeah, we're making some interesting stuff, and I recorded a few minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to record a few minutes more, but we're going to make a couple of changes here. So let's get back in here, and let's make those changes. We're going to let's add another LFO. And this one, let's slow it way down. So the other one's running fast. I'm going to run this one really slow. And this one, let's move this one kind of in tandem. All right, these things are all now moving in tandem. We're scanning through the wavetable. I'm just going to listen to this. All right, so now we've got something that's a little bit more alive. It's going to change just a little bit more over time. We can record one more pass, and then after that, we might want to put in one more modulator that's kind of specific to some kind of a recurring percussive feel. And we'll get into why later, but let's dial in the timbre of this here. Okay, these sound pretty good. So we're going to start here. And that's too much. We'll start here. Okay, we'll start here. And let's also just bring in just a little bit of phase distortion. This might not be the best idea, but let's just try it for a second. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm bringing in a little bit of phase distortion. It's pretty ugly stuff. I'm going to bring it in just a tiny little bit, a mix at the end of this chain. And hopefully, once I bring in Fracture XT, this is going to start to translate as interference and signal strength not being so great. Maybe some static, maybe a little cross chatter. See what we get up to here. Let's go ahead and start with this. Oh, that's going to be a fun wavetable right there. That little release moment. Ooh. I think our explorer may have just encountered a distortion field of some sort. Captain, we've encountered a distortion field. What shall we do? Let's punch through it. Let's bring this phase distortion down a bit, huh? This is going to be a great wavetable, too. Yo, Zeep! How you doing, homie? Ooh, that's a great tail. Okay, so let's go ahead and say that this is good. There's some really weird stuff that we can start to get up to with these recordings. We don't have to just use these recordings as they stand. So let's just get out of all of that. We'll turn off all of this. And let's put, I don't think we need to save this, right? We don't need to save this. Let's go ahead and put a new patch together. Let's put a wavetable in here. Before we actually start loading it, we're going to go listen to a track really quick. Come back. Hey! Today is my Friday this week, says Zeep Santhorpe. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. All right, Dino. Let's see what you've made, man. Screaky. Let's do this. Ooh, look at these clouds. Nice shot there. Hoo hoo hoo. I want to listen again. It's good to hear you, dude. Dude, this is so, so lovely. I just want to listen to it again. I feel like there's this layer of noise running through it that doesn't need to be there. It feels kind of artificial. The bass feels just a little bit bigger than it needs to be. And I'd roll the low end cutoff up to 50, maybe even 60 hertz. There's a little bit of rumble from the sub frequencies that doesn't really need to be there. And if it wasn't, then I think your bass feels even smoother. And I really like where it is already. Some vinyl. Yeah. Yeah, I think instead of that vinyl, I think what I'd do is maybe put a little bit of tape warmth on there instead. You'll get just a little bit of like degradation, like tape warble from it, just ever so slightly maybe. But I think it would feel better than that kind of hiss that's coming with the vinyl effect that's coming right now. You heard tapeworm. You might want to hit this smooth jazz with some tapeworm. I think I said tape warmth, but tapeworm. Maybe we should have a plugin called Tapeworm. It's just like a free tape saturation plugin, but we'll see who would actually download and use something called Tapeworm. Smooth jazz, Tapeworm VST, right? Tapeworm is exactly what you think of when you think of smooth jazz, right? Come on, who doesn't? Man, seriously. Let's see what we can do here with one of these, and what can we not do? Drag and drop these days inside a faceplant. Let's see. Let's just have a little experimental time, shall we? Let's go to this guy, and maybe we'll just chop this. This is wild right here. Okay, let's do it right here. This looks like a place where we can chop. So we're going to do that. Chop that right here. And we don't need to bring in that much audio, obviously. So let's just listen to this. Let's go to here. I have no idea what it sounds like right here, which makes it a great stopping point. Now, can we... No, we can't. We're going to have to bounce that, right? So I'm just going to click on it, bounce it, save this project, head over to the Finder here. And that is going to be in here. Scanners and system, right? Yeah. Okay, now we just made one, two. That's this one. That's the one. Okay, so we're going to bring that in here. Heyo. Okay, so now we've got that inside a phase plant here. Okay. C424, huh? Okay. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Why am I not getting audio out of phase plant? Hold on a second. Oh, because it's off. That's why. That's why. Ooh. Oh, Drummer Boy says, and also Ringworm, because Ring Mod, right? Oh, that's great. Oh, tapeworm and ringworm. You guys, this is great. These things, they're. Oh, I got it. I got it. You're not gonna like this. Viral VSTs. Viral VST. That's the brand. Let's just pinky swear to everyone we're not taking this idea and running with it. We got viral VST and ringworm and tapeworm have got to be, now that we've thought of this, they've just got to be, right? Bonus points if it gets a bit wiggly sometimes. Oh, imagine it says you can just keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it and feeding it and feeding and feeding it and feeding it and feeding it and oh, Zeep, we'll get there. We'll get there. Dino says, also, Chris, something good and I have released a track together. This is what I've been waiting for, you guys. They've released a track together. Zendremic, how'd you become so famous? My tapeworm plugin. Oh, dude, Dino, yeah. Whenever you guys are ready to share it, I'm ready to listen. Imagine it says, I'd like a plugin that visually explodes when you push the drive too far. That would feel so satisfying. Danny, yes. Yes, highly responsive plugins. instead of crashing, it just pops the UI faceplate off. Makes the audio a super crunched, like 1x bit reduced quality. Oh, that's awesome. All the controls still work. They're just a little melted. It's fine. Yes. Nice blast of white noise transient. I think that's just watermarking. Ringworm and tapeworm combo, right? It is perfect though. And earworm. Earworm. Melody creation VST. This is great. This is great. Overdriven tapeworm explodes. Goo. Oh man. Oh, geesh. All right, let's come over here. We're going to listen to this thing from Z, and we're going to record. I have no idea what we're going to record, but that's the fun of it, isn't it? Isn't it? I think. Unless I've been doing it wrong all this time. Z. This one's called Loser's Bracket. Dude, bandworms and bookworms. Oh, I said bandworks, huh? Bandworms, that's what I meant. Bookworms. Bookworms, right? It could be all dialogue. Like, imagine a plugin. Should I even say this out loud? Yeah, sure, why not? Imagine a plugin. Like, we have all of these plugins for vocals, like, intended to chop and manipulate vocals. But what about vocalization and dialogue? Like, bookworms. That'd be freaking dope. All right, Zeep, this is great. I'd bring the bass down a touch, bring the low and cutoff up to 45, maybe even 50 hertz on this. It just seems like the sub is just a little bit too low on it. And then also, at 1 minute, I'm thinking to myself, I think the sub is just too loud in this track. If it was just to come down a few dB, I feel like it probably finds its perfect resting spot. Really like that fill, or the stop at 142. Such a good track. I don't have a lot of gripes here, man. I do want that sub down just a little bit, I think. This one felt really, really complete. How much time do you have on this one? Bookworms, bandworms. Bookworm could be dialogue processing, but also like really cool vocoder. Ooh, yeah, there you go. Like not musical vocoding, but more a sound design like Geth from Mass Effect. Yeah, there you go. Last 3 days. Started Sunday. Nice. Yeah, it's great. It's great. There's a nice tonal completeness to this. It feels like you've represented each of the chunks of the frequency spectrum quite well here. I should play through the Mass Effect games again as well. I've got them sitting on the old PlayStation. I should do that. My kid was asking if he could watch that game just the other day. And it's like, can you? That's a good question. Probably. Probably. It's a good game. Good game. Dude, Zeep, seriously, man. Seriously. Like, I mean, you've been bringing it for quite a while, but this one is really complete. Do you feel that? Like, when you listen to this, are you feeling good about this? Usually you could feel it. All right, let's get an LFO in here and see what kind of weird stuff we can start to get up to. Oh, that's nice, drummer boy. That's awesome. Okay, so we've got this weirdness happening. We're going to take down our modulation speed. Okay, we're going to bring this envelope down. So let's see. Feels like 90% or so. So maybe I just call it done and not mess it up. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Okay, where is the re-trigger option in the... dun, 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 dun. Uh-huh. Control note trigger auto decide automatically based on polyphony mode. Connected modulators never trigger from note on, always trigger from note on. Trigger at the first note of group. Decide automatically. Never trigger from. Yeah, that's trigger input. But what about retrigger? What about where in phase plan? I'm not remembering, you guys. Anyone help me out there? Where do I find my trigger options? Hmm. Um. Trigger from note on. Always trigger from note on. That's cool. Haven't played with those much. Never always trigger the first note of random legato notes. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, and then it just operates as a one-time through. Let's see. Okay. I guess I can use legato to make that work. All right, let's get a pitch shifter in here. No. Get a frequency shifter in here. That's kind of in the right neck of the woods. All right, so what we're going to look for here is we have to have some sort of transitory sounds here inside of this system, right? If so, this is a heads-up display system, and that means that we need to be able to navigate the things that are being seen in the display, and sometimes that means moving from one image to the next, or one function to the next, or one tab to the next, if you will, for lack of a better term. So we need to have sounds for that. So if we have this kind of a shape, we can kind of get there probably if we bring in something like Portal. Da, 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 da. Let's bring Fracture back into this. And we're going to send this through Portal first and then into Fracture. It's going to start making some weird stuff happen. Hopefully. Ooh, yeah, there's some interesting stuff happening here. I'm going to start recording. Ooh, that was good. Let's add a little heat to this too. That's pretty good. That was pretty good. Oh wait, are we not recording? Is it not recording? That's not good. Let's see if we can fix that. I'm not sure why we were not recording. Let's see if we can capture any of that. All right, let's see if we got anything useful in all of that, because we very well might have. Let's take out this. Let's listen back to this. Ooh, yeah, some of this in here. Ooh, this in here. These. Ooh, that's pretty good right there, too. Oh, Zendremic. Once in a while you see a light go off. Never turned it on. Oof. Blazin', how you doing? Ooh, interesting stuff in here. All right, let's listen and see what we got out of that last run of scanner stuff, too. Some pretty good stuff in here. This is pretty solid. I mean, these will be fairly small loops, all things considered. That's a pretty good scanner sound right there. It's pretty good. So is this in here. Also, pretty solid here. Well, here's an alarm. How about that? Oh, blazing. That's gotta suck, dude. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Hmm. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's endemic, right? Yeah, do we really need this? Hmm. It sounds like it would be a survival response thing, dude. Seriously. Wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Back. I want you to pay attention. This, please. Look. There we go. Right? Exactly. What is a countdown page? Thank you very much. Right? Right? Come on, people. What are we doing? I think I might take this right here. And that one's okay. This one feels pretty good. Some great alarms in here. Ooh, what is this? Ooh. Danny, yes. Enjoy your lunch, dude. We will keep brainstorming around VSEs. Oh, brainworms. Brainworms. An ideation plugin, brainstorming plugin, right? It's a randomization plugin just to give you ideas. This is awesome. A literal countdown page. For what, though? Would we sit together and stare at it intently? Can we not spend money in other places? I don't know. The artists? Yeah, right. Blaze Beat says, yeah, when I was a child in the 80s, 90s, my parents and my uncles had to watch out for my bro and I from kidnappers. Oh, man. Then there was bullies, my teens, military time as an adult, a wild ass ride. Man, right? Freaking life, dude. Danny says, making arts today, putting the brain in the blender. Yeah, brain smoothie kind of day. To go with the tapeworms. Oh, man. Blaze Beat says, I did just pull up the saw and tried some sound design. Just couldn't find something I was happy with. Maybe next time I'll try. Yeah, the sounds of shortwave radio, right? Right? It's fun to discover these things. That's a great alarm. I keep finding these alarms, and they're great. The best alarms you will ever make will be found organically, I swear. I love being surprised by great alarms. This is great right here. Ooh, man, some really great scanners today. Easy to split. Pretty good stuff. Oh, that's great. Oops. What did I just do? Too many false alarms with dogs. Everything is an alarm with dogs, right? Yeah, for real. Saf, take care, homie. I'll see you tomorrow. Syndromic says it's funny that people find it weird that people make. Wait, it's funny that people find it weird that people make with art, music, video games, movies. How do you think that stuff just appears, right? Yeah, yeah. Make money with it. Yeah. It's true. It's true. Somebody has to make all that stuff, right? This is how it's done. One way, anyway. Crusoe! How you doing? Just out of curiosity, I want to see what we've just pulled out of those two recordings. Let's see. We could even put this into a little bit of verb. These two are basically... So that sounds like a better scanner as it is, so maybe I'll just drop this one a bit. Yeah, that's fine. Alarm. Typing. That was the same as... Yes, it was. So let's shift this one just a little bit. This looks like a spam message. All right, so this HUD system has scanners, alarms. So we gave it a fair number of system sounds here. And kind of curious as to how those might sound with these other sounds. I'm just going to, while this is still fresh in my mind, signal and textures, is that the one we were doing Monday? I think it was. Let's open up that one. We made a bunch of sounds on Monday. I need to go through each of these projects. We had one on, we had a production stream last Wednesday, this Monday, and today for this pack, I think. Okay, well, that's all still very fresh in my head. Let's just listen to a couple of these again. I think it works. I think there isn't going to have to be much done to bridge these two. Let's go up to this track here. And I don't think we've mixed any of these guys yet. I think this is perhaps where we've left off, which is where we will pick up. And some of these sound kind of generic to me. All right, so we've got some work to do on these guys. I really like this one. All right. I should probably stretch a little bit. Mr. Drumick says, I'm always surprised that we still have bots that advertise for quality viewers. I'm like, bro, get out of my stream. Who pays for that stuff? Zindrumic, I made all of these buttons in the last stream on Monday. I just made all the scanner sounds and whatnot today. Scanners, alarms. I did these button and response and startup power down sounds Monday. Alrighty, kitty cats. I'm gonna go stretch and stuff. I think I'm done for right now. So let's refresh this page here and see who's streaming and who we can go visit really quick. Let's do that. I'm feeling like we might have a little surprise pop-up stream at some point this week too. Who are we following that's streaming right now? Let's see. Yay! Guess who we're gonna go see? We're going to go see someone's channel who's intended for certain audiences. It may contain drugs, intoxication,
Or just
excessive
a really nice, gaming
language.
PC. Doesn't even have to be really nice. Just having a gaming PC would be cool because there's definitely been one or two.
Recognize that voice?
That I do. Really wouldn't mind.
Let's go see Liv.
Like Baldur's Gate 3.
I appreciate you guys.
Like a game that I would fucking.
I'll see you on Friday.
I don't really have a blade.
Feedback Friday.
So I'm like, meh.
Let's go see
But
Liv.
there's also a handful of others over the last.
Bye, guys.
Shit.